Hey everyone, welcome to the Revenue Growth Architects podcast. It's Chrissy and Charlie here.
Oh,
And we're going to dive into 3 topics like we have been today. But before we do, Charlie, how are you feeling? How's your jet lag?
not bad, actually. I'm back on stateside, feeling good.
Charlie was just in Ireland.
Yeah, I'm not going to try doing the accent. And that was also pretty terrible, actually. But
I'm not.
apologies to any of our Irish listeners for that.
Bastardizing.
Yeah, I was going to use that word too.
Okay. So Charlie was in Ireland last week. He left me with 2 feral children for 4 days. So no, I'm just kidding. It wasn't too bad. And now we're back filming again this week. So we got some awesome topics. So without further ado, we'll just dive into it. So the first thing is we always kind of go through what's on our minds or what's been coming up recently with a lot of clients. And I will say, not just clients, but a lot of inbound people through our site, as well as current clients who, or people on LinkedIn and so forth, have been asking, show me more of your custom object reporting for the funnel. I want to see it actually in action. What does it look like? What does the data look like? And we have done like some videos on YouTube for that, but we wanted to kind of show some examples and specific use cases of what the data actually looks like. If you are tired of hearing about the custom object, sorry, but we're going to talk about it again.
And if you're just listening to this, might be one of the more tricky ones to follow. Just listening, I'll try and explain what we're seeing. But if you are listening, hop over to YouTube and you'll get a lot more of what we're talking about for sure. Because I'm going to share my screen and go through some specific use cases of our unmanaged Salesforce custom object package and actually show it in the wild. Well, not in the wild, actually, in the packaging org. So shall I share my screen and dive right into it?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, so take us through the first use case and talk us through what you're showing for those that are listening.
Yeah, so for those who don't know, we have a Salesforce unmanaged package that we install for our clients, which has all of the automation and custom object to be able to track the lifecycle, pipeline, funnel stages all on one custom object. So you can unify data across leads, contacts, accounts, the campaign data, the opportunity data. So you don't have to do Excel Olympics and pull all the data out of Salesforce and combine it somewhere and try and figure out a way to get all of the data in a really reportable format. And then also it helps you be able to do non-linear buyer journeys, so you can track multiple journeys through the funnel, multiple journeys through pipeline, all in that object, and tie that back to a lead, creating a or lead or contact. So tying that into a one-to-many relationship between the person and the buyer and their journeys through your pipeline stages.
Yeah.
So I'm in our packaging org, and I want to take you through a few examples here. So I'm going to create a new lead called CS9. Now, one of the things that are the way that we've built this, it relies on your lead source data being updated. So most companies probably have, some form of lead source data. What we need is the lead source latest, the lead source detail latest, and the lead source campaign latest. So think of this as the where and the what. Where did they come from? What did they do? So the where they come from could be, paid ads, or it could be an event, it could be organic social, and the what did they do could be like the specific event, it could be the content they downloaded, it could be demo forms. So in this example, I'm going to do paid social, LinkedIn, and it's a demo form. So in your marketing automation platform, you're going to have this data being updated, and then you're going to have your logic to determine, did they hit that tipping point? And the word tipping point or the phrase tipping point is very important. That's when we track these records and we create these records. It's when you hand over the record to sales. Essentially, that's where your pipeline should start, not just at the opportunities, the pre-opportunity stages of pipeline or your funnel, the bit there's a lot of companies really struggle to report on that's where it starts. That's where we wanted to start tracking these and tie this back to.
Yeah. So where enters the funnel? Because of course, some people can enter your funnel beyond sales ready. We still backdate that data, which we'll probably show in those examples. But it's really, where was the source of that funnel? Like, what was the thing that started it?
Exactly. So your marketing automation platform has determined that they've hit the sales ready status. They should be handed over to sales, and then we've captured this. So I'm going to save. Now see here, we've got our lead, and then we have this lifecycle record.
Yeah.
Custom object.
So you'll see the custom object in our package called lifecycles. And so now we're looking at this record. So one thing to note here for those that are looking at it, there's check boxes for each stage as well as the date, and that's great for conversion reporting. So you can actually do great conversion reporting from stage to stage. But one question that I get a lot actually on the custom object is, do we use this for our sales team to like pick up their leads and contacts? And it's like, no, you still want to work through and manage your leads and contacts the same way. The custom object is just listening for the changes and will update the data on it for the reporting. And there's a lot of reasons why you wouldn't want to use a custom object. I mean, even down to your sales engagement platform isn't going to pull in a custom object data. So you can keep your team working through a same process. But in the back end, it's kind of listening for updates to update the custom object.
Yeah, exactly. So here you can see we've got the source information pulled from those latest fields onto the custom object. We've tied it to the lead. We have all the stage data. So like Chrissy said, the checkboxes that we could use to sum up for conversion rate reporting. We have the date times. And then we're going to talk about some of these other fields down here. So let's go through our buying stages. So now almost all our clients have some kind of engagement, sales engagement tool, like an outreach or sales loft. They're running activities there. We'll have automation to then be able to listen to the activity and then move them into a working stage. So then now they've hit the working stage. You go back to our custom object record here, and you'll see that the working checkbox has been updated in the working day. Now, a good amount of our clients these days have stage 0 opportunities for meeting booked. So I'm going to actually just create an opportunity now. So from lead convert, I'm going to create this opportunity. And in this example, say that this is, the meeting gets booked. So we're creating this opportunity. Now I'm going to open up this contact. And you'll see the contact has the same life cycle. So this is the same life cycle record that I was had open before, and now it's tied to the previous lead, and the contact has all the same information on it. And you can see now we have the opportunity date here. So what this really helps solve is that you've got lead and contact. If you were tracking date stamps on the lead and the contact, now you have to use some reports for the lead to calculate some of the data for your funnel, some reports on the contact, stitching that data somewhere, a load of faff to be able to get good reporting. Now I've just still got that all in this lifecycle record.
Yeah. And one thing to note here, we're calling this stage opportunity because that's when an opportunity was created. But a lot of our clients will call this meeting booked, right? And we'll suggest that for clients to call that stage, because that's usually when we suggest creating an opportunity. But we know that some companies create opportunities maybe after the meeting was completed and so forth. So you have flexibility there.
Yeah, and we can adjust for pretty much any buying process, and there's a lot of customization that we can do to this. What we're showing here is kind of just like the base level starting point that we'll start with, and then we'll adjust it for each of our clients' needs.
Yeah.
So in this opportunity now, I'm going to actually closed lost, and I'm going to choose a closed lost reason. I'm going to say it's lost to competitor. And now we've been working on the opportunity object, but because our life cycle, if I go back here and look, and it has the opportunity information, so once that opportunity gets created, it's going to tie that to the opportunity. I'm going to refresh because it was closed lost. Now you can see we're in the opportunity closed lost lifecycle stage on this lifecycle record. We've got a lost date, and we've got the lost to competitor in here, the opportunity stage. And then if we go back to the contact status has been updated to remarket and lost to competitors. So the automation has handled the updating of the lifecycle record, the updating of the contact record. Everything is aligned, and you've now got this lifecycle as essentially closed, and it's not going to be, that's now retained. That journey is retained, but it's not going to kind of be progressed any further.
Yeah. One thing to also note, we won't need to go through it too much, but there is an owner kind of like user history, which is also really beneficial because you can actually see, well, who moved it to a working stage, who was the owner when there was a connection, so forth. As you know, with SDRs or sales reps, there's, reassignments and can happen and so forth. So it actually gives you a better history of like who was the actual person that was doing the updates or actually help them progress to that stage, which is really nice.
Yeah. So that shows you just a really standard use case of, lead gets worked, updating lifecycle record, goes through stages, updates lifecycle record, opportunity gets created, update lifecycle record, opportunity gets closed, update lifecycle record. Now you can see how kind of it's unified all of that data onto that record. Because we've got the contact tied there, we can pull any account fields onto this record. Because we've got the opportunity tied onto this, we can pull any opportunity fields onto this record. We've got the lead data on here. We've got the source data, all of the conversion data. So really helpful to get really simple reporting. Now, in this example, I'm going to, for this contact, so if you don't do this, you probably should. Most clients that we work with, I'd say all actually, they have their stages both on leads and contacts. So now a contact can be closed lost. Give it 6 months, maybe this contact resurfaces, and then they become sales ready again. But before I do that, I'm going to go down here and say, okay, so say there's got closed last 6 months has passed, like I mentioned. They go to an event. It's a trade show. And we'll call it like XYZ show.
Fun.
And then because they went to that trade show, because they're in remarket, now they get
maybe they're
sales ready again.
Did a demo.
Now, if you go to the contact here, now I have 2 lifecycle records. Okay. So in that paid social one, the one I was on previously, that one stays the same, right? Nothing's going to change on that. That data is retained forever. But if I open up this second lifecycle record here, now I have another one with the event information. The lifecycle status is sales ready and it's tied to the contact. And similar thing, we're going to go, if we want to go through the different contact stages, we'll go to working. Working date gets updated. Let's create an opportunity from this contact.
And maybe create it in stage 1. Say you were like a sales rep and you accidentally, or they forgot,
or like move it just like to stage 4 or something.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. See what happens.
So we'll update and just create it in a later stage, so it doesn't go to just like that first stage. It's essentially skipping that meeting bit and going straight into pipeline. So we'll save this opportunity. Oh, need a close date. Got to keep your validation rules here. Okay. Now we've got this new opportunity. Let's go back to this lifecycle record. And look, so it's actually updated every prior stage. Like we will always kind of back populate for anything that skips forward as well. It's hit the pipeline opportunity, which is, I think in this packaging, it looks like stage 2 or stage 1. I forget, like one of the early stages of the opportunity, but not stage 0. And then we've updated the date time there. Now let's go to that opportunity. It's this one. Let's add an amount here. This is a big opportunity. Oh, too big.
Too big.
This is a what? Is that a $10 billion opportunity?
Yeah.
Okay. Now we can see down here, we've got the opportunity amount. It's tied to the new opportunity. We've got the opportunity stage. And then let's win this opportunity. Let's go here. and it's 1. We just won a $10 billion opportunity. Now the lifecycle status is set to close 1. We've got a 1 date. We've got the opportunity information. All of these numbers here is 0 because this is the time between each stage. But obviously I've just been doing this today. It's essentially just taking these date times and calculating the days between stage that we can use for stage velocity reporting. And now you've got it. So we've got this contact that's been through 2 life cycles. Now, if they do a customer journey, we can create another life cycle record.
Yep.
We can tie this back to more than just like marketing. We can do partner, we can do outbound. I'm actually going to take you through an outbound example quickly as well. But you can see kind of the 2 big use cases for this are unifying the data into one object for really easy reporting, because we're not having to pull data off loads of different objects for that reporting. And then number 2, being able to have multi-journey, non-linear buyer journey reporting, where a lot of clients, they will have date stamps on the lead and contact, and they're overwriting those days.
Yeah.
So when you think about that, say you have 100 MQLs in January, 50 of them get recycled, and then those 50 then re-MQL in July. Now, if you're using the last MQL date in your reporting, your now January MQL number is down to 50, and everyone's like, wait, I thought our MQLs was 100 in January.
Yeah.
So
I think another thing that we see that is kind of crazy is like some people would be like, I want to create purposeful duplicate leads just so I can get conversion data. Ooh, if you saw, like, you might as well, you want to just work from that same contact. So even though Charlie was updating a contact who was already a contact, we're still able to get that reporting instead of having to like do a true conversion from a lead to a contact. So that's another thing to know, because surprisingly we see that a lot. We also see a lot of people just not sales ready any contacts, which actually we're doing an audit on a client, and I literally was messaging one of our client leads about it this morning. So it happens. It's happening. So
there's a lot of weird stuff that people do to try and get around this, and there's a very elegant solution of just using a custom object.
Yeah. Okay. Final use case, outbound. Like, how are we tracking outbound funnels?
Yeah. So I'm going to go here, and so in our managed package. So one of the things I actually want to call out with our managed package. So, you can take what we're showing you here and try and build this, right? It seems relatively simple to get this built out, but there are a lot of edge cases you have to think about. So, for example, I forget how many for it's just like lead conversion, like 35 different lead conversion scenarios. It's like lead converts into a contact, not creating an opportunity. Lead converts into a contact, creating an opportunity. Lead converts into merging into an existing contact, creates an opportunity. Lead merging into an existing contact, not create. All of those different examples all have different outcomes. Like if you're merging, we need to potentially merge the lifecycle records. So think of that, and now think of every different step of this needs to have some kind of edge case scenario handling. And also, there's other things that I'm about to show you here that are just like kind of just another piece that just turns this into a much bigger project than people realize. So in this example, I'm going to take you through outbound.
Okay.
So, almost all our clients, again, they're doing a good amount of outbound. There might not be a marketing source for those. And they want to know, and they also want to know, like, how much are we going outbound? How many leads and how much kind of, how many funnels or life cycles have we started through outbound? And then what are our conversion rates for outbound, so we can help optimize our outbound flow? So I've logged in as a sales user. So this is in our managed package. As when you're a sales user, now if you create a record, so I'm going to call this a CS11, and you just start working them, you've just gone, okay, I've found this person, I'm just going to start, or I know this person from a previous thing or whatever. I've just decided I'm going to call this person, start working them. And this could be, you created this record, added them to a sales loft sequence, and then it's automatically moved them to working. Now we have a life cycle that is tied back to sales generated. Now this can be modified, right? So like, if, for example, there's like a certain signal that led to that outbound. So say, for example, there's a job change and now you've got a tool that can send you, oh, this person's changed to a new company. If we have a way to automate updating those latest fields from that, and then sales goes outbound, we can update the lifecycle source to the signal data. But if there's nothing in the example that I showed you here, we're just going to put it as sales generated.
Some people also call it like sales outbound,
right?
Sales generated, or just outbound if you don't want to call it sales outbound, because as you know, marketing is probably helping them do that outbound. So
yeah, exactly. And because it skipped the sales ready, we're still populating it because they went straight to working. And this is important because we want to be able to, when we're reporting on this, just group by the sales ready date and just have all of the records there to be able to show. So even though they've kind of skipped that, sales ready is essentially that tipping point. They hit that tipping point, right? Because sales decided to go outbound. So we're still marking that as sales ready.
I think this is a great example to show why we like calling that stage sales ready as well, and not just MQL, because traditionally MQLs are just what gets from scoring, from marketing, and sent over to sales. But in this case, you're saying, well, we also want to track an outbound funnel. Well, if this is kind of saying that the salesperson or SDR is saying that that record is sales ready, is ready for them to start working it. And that's why we'll still backdate that stage. You can have your different types of sales ready leads, which can be useful for reporting. So you can split these funnels by outbound, hand raisers even, or just like what gets sent from marketing is like your more traditional kind of MQL criteria. But you want to still create funnels for these, because like how many times has marketing come to the table with data to try and show MQLs and how they're flowing through the funnel, and then sales comes to that same meeting, goes, this is how many opportunities we generated, and it's going to look massively different. Marketing's just going to be reporting on MQL funnels, but as we know, people can enter the funnel in different stages, as well as different sources like partners and so forth. And so it gives you that more unified and holistic view of where all of your pipeline is coming from, starting at sales ready. And you can then slice those and see like the conversion rates and how they compare. So getting a real insight into what go-to-market motions are performing at a certain rate for velocity and revenue and so forth. So yeah, that's a big reason why we call it sales ready, but also giving you a better sense of why this truly is a unified view.
Yeah. And then the last thing I'll show here, so I think I've got this just on today. So really simple report. Now, there's a lot of different reports you can create from this, but just showing you the records today and kind of how they're rolling up here. So we can just see kind of the number of sales ready, the number of working, the conversion rate. So this is, the 2 sales ready, one of them got to opportunity and one didn't. So the 50% conversion rate, we got the sum of opportunity amount. This is just tying it back to that lifecycle source campaign, but you could tie it back to the lifecycle source, the detail, a combination of campaign and detail. You can look at conversion rates through all stages. You can create graphs. You can use this table, the custom object table, sync it to BI exactly how it is, and create a lot of different reporting. And you can bring in cost information and then do ROI reporting on this. The goal of this was to just simplify that reporting flow. So instead of being like, okay, I've got all of these objects, I'm going to try and do snapshots or whatever. Now I've got to kind of get all this data and manually push it into a certain format and then do all of that. No, it's just working now. We have the data that we need for all of this file data. And now we can start building models off that. Now we can start using that in our BI tool. Now we can start building out the reports that we need for the CMO dashboard, the finance dashboard, the different team dashboards, and drill down into it without all the drama that it takes to get all the reporting. There you go.
That's it. Yeah.
A lot more we can talk about there, and we'll probably dig into it in other podcasts. But we've had a lot of questions about this, and just wanted to show it in
Yeah,
action.
and I think the main thing is there are other methods that when people say using a custom object, I think some people will create a custom object record for every stage, not something
No.
we suggest or do. So I just wanted to clear that as well because I've gotten that question recently. But anywho, yeah, for those who are watching, hopefully that was really useful. For those who are listening, you can come back and watch this on our YouTube channel. And yeah, hopefully it was useful. So
switching gears to something a bit more fun, or I don't know.
is it fun? No. Is it creepy or fun?
So this is our GTM or GTFO section. So let me tee this up. So I went down a bit of a rabbit hole of AI SDRs after our last podcast.
I just talked about this company in our newsletter.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
Shows you don't read my newsletters, but
I think I
no, I'm just kidding. It was just brief. It was brief, yeah.
So I went down a bit of a rabbit hole and started exploring this, and then I found this 11x company, and they had an option for the SDR to call you. So we've talked theoretically about this. We've talked about how our clients are kind of handling some of the complexities around this, but I wanted to just actually see the quality of what an SDR call, AI SDR call would be like, and get your takes on the GTM or GTFO, if you think it's good or not. So I'm going to get this guy, Jordan, to call me, and you'll be the judge, and the listeners will be the judge. So let's see how this goes.
He looks like a stereotypical SDR. I don't even know what that means these days, but he kind of does.
Yeah, I'm curious. Do you think that's an AI generated
I think so.
picture? They do have one called Alice. So
his hair looks too perfect to me.
Hello?
Hello?
How's it going?
Hello, Charlie. This is Jordan, your AI phone rep from 11x. I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. How about you?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. I'm a bit busy, so I need you to just kind of explain the best you can on your product, why I should want it, and just what are the big use cases?
Totally get. Sure thing, Charlie. So I'm Jordan, your AI phone rep. I handle both inbound and outbound calls, sync with calendars, qualify leads, and manage customer requests. Imagine having someone work smoothly with your existing tools and handle calls around the clock without needing coffee breaks. How many calls does your team handle each month?
Probably 2,000.
Great. With that call volume, Jordan can optimize your call handling without any hiccup. You're focused more on warm outreach, inbound qualification, or something else for these calls?
A mixture. Do you do cold outbound at all?
I mainly focus on inbound qualification and consented warm outreach to ensure compliance and best results. Do you have a consented inbound use case where you can benefit from more efficient call handling?
What would you take? What's an example of that?
Sure, Charlie. Imagine potential customers visiting your website and requesting a demo. Jordan, that's me, would instantly call them, qualify their needs, set up appointments, and seamlessly update your CRM. It's like having a hyper-efficient concierge for your leads.
Why wouldn't I just have the information on my website, and then maybe just a call booking, like a meeting booking tool on my website where they can just pick a call? What's the benefit of this?
Good question, Charlie. With Jordan, there's a human-like touch well, AI-like that's literally instant. I follow up directly, which means higher conversion rates and a personalized experience. Plus, imagine freeing up your team from repetitive tasks to focus on more strategic work.
Yeah, I don't know, because it seems like right now on our demo form we have a call booking link. So if people want a demo, they just want to book a call with our actual AE. Why should they have to speak to an AI person before that? What's the point?
I get it, Charlie. The magic here is in the immediate follow-up and qualifying the interest before it hits your ACE calendar. This saves your team's time, ensures readiness, and keeps your pipeline efficient. Think of it as the warm-up act to the main performance.
So what type of questions do you ask then?
I typically ask questions to understand their needs better, like their main challenges, goals, and specific interests related to your offerings. It's about getting the right info so your A can dive straight into a meaningful conversation. Would you like to see how this works in a demo?
Do you ever tell jokes or try to be funny?
Absolutely. I can sprinkle in a bit of humor to keep things light and engaging. After all, who doesn't like a chuckle now and then? Speaking of which, once you hear a joke, how does a penguin build his house?
How? I don't know. Tell me.
It glues it together.
They glues it together.
Humor and efficiency on your all-in-one package. So are we ready to book a time for the demo and see the magic in action?
I think I need to be convinced. What's your most like compelling, reason why I should?
I handle repetitive tasks, qualify leads swiftly, and integrate smoothly with your. You got it, Charlie.
You interrupted me a bit there.
Imagine. Oops, my bad, Charlie. Please go on.
Yeah. I think I'm good. Can you not call me again?
Kiss you. Got it, Charlie. If you change your mind or have any questions, feel free to reach out. Take care.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Bye. Oh, I actually hung up. All right. GTM or GTFO on that?
I think for the main use case, like if you're trying to get this to replace an SDR, like I still think maybe GTFO or sorry, GTFO. I don't know. I didn't really like the experience, but I was still kind of impressed, I will say. But I would only think of it as being something useful for very high volume. Like if you're just trying to redirect people, I don't know. If you are an enterprise sale, I still feel like there's an element of like high touch that I would want. So I do agree, like if you're getting 2,000 inbound calls, like maybe this would be useful because there might be a lot of like junk that could come through. So to me, I feel like it depends on the size.
But who gets inbound calls?
Some people do. It's just that's what I'm saying. Our clients are probably not getting many inbound requests or calls or anything. So, yeah.
Yeah. I think so. Here's my take. So I don't know if I see the use case.
Yeah.
Because if he doesn't do cold outbound, so he just does warm outbound or like following up on kind of people who've done a demo request. If I go to a website and do a demo request or contact us, I don't want an AI to call me to then have to like talk to someone and try and book. I just want to book using like a Chili Piper or a Calendly or something like that straight away, right?
Yeah.
And those tools all have qualification abilities, so you can like only show those forms if people fit your requirements. So if that bit's handled, then that use case is kind of like seems a little bit pointless. And then the other part of it is if they do want to start going into kind of more cold outbound, as soon as it gets like a little bit chilly on the outbound, I really don't want you to call me, right? Because I haven't even requested to be called.
Right.
And now I've got some AI kind of interrupting me, being a bit weird on the end of the phone and calling me.
Yeah.
And I really don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't like it when you haven't requested to be called, and if you've requested a meeting, you should just do the booking online. Where's the use case?
Yeah, I struggle with that. I also feel like people just hate calls. So if like you're going to take something that they already hate and make it a not very nice experience, I can see like, okay, customer service handling, stuff like that. But in terms of like inbound requests, I don't see the use case either. I feel like you better off like handling it through an online experience, which honestly people prefer these days anyway. I don't know anyone who's like, yeah, I just really want to talk to someone, unless they're trying to get help. Help is where people want to talk to someone.
Well, I don't know. Even help. I
help,
like
I want
chatbots.
to chat. Yeah. So
And not a chat bot, sorry, just like chat to a human.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So yeah, I don't know. I could see. I'm still bullish on AI. I still think there's a lot of potential. There's a lot of ways that we can optimize different processes, different workflows, kind of what we're doing. I use it all the time for just answering questions and search and helping with things. But like this one, it does seem like you're trying to find a problem more than just there is a problem. And, they're trying to find a problem for their solution, their core solution. And they do, to be fair to them, they do have like a more text-based one called Alice that will handle like kind of email and LinkedIn messages and stuff.
That one seems maybe more interesting.
Yeah, my only problem with that is that as soon as everyone starts using this stuff, it's like people are just going to completely ignore their inbox. They're going to completely ignore everything. They're going to probably get to the point where you just literally block a phone call or an email or a text message from someone that isn't already in your address book, right? It's like, so I don't know, because
I think we're in consensus. GTFO for
GTFO. Okay. Yeah. All right. So moving on to the last section here.
Okay, yeah. So we wanted to take a question. So we have a question from LinkedIn.
This is Stuart Balcombe.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He posts some great content actually. Around like outbound. But the question is, at what point do you think an actual ABM tool is worthwhile versus just using your CRM? I think this was in like a comment based on talking about a lot of companies aren't ready for ABM unless they put in like the work architecturally. For me, I feel like you can go pretty long not using an ABM tool. I mean, you think about an ABM platform these days, it kind of just depends on like what your strategy is and what your goals are. They do a lot. They say that they do intent. They'll help you run your ads. I mean, those are like the
acquire
data, contact data. But a lot of companies have tools that can do this. I also am not sold on third-party intent data. We talked about it before. We even have clients who will try and start account funnels just purely based on third-party intent, and the conversion rate is dismal. So I would say the better thing to do is focus on your account architecture in your system, really like how accounts are structured, what context you have underneath them. Are you able to see what white space you have? Are you tracking your buying teams underneath those accounts? Who owns them? What's the roles and responsibilities? All that. And then maybe think about doing kind of account stages on your accounts. And lead to account match and all that architecture is key. And then you can do a lot of the other things that the platforms do just with the tools that you might have. So if you want to go and acquire contacts, you can use Zoom Info, or you can actually go out to like Clay, run a table, try and find the right people, even do email verification all in one table, which is great. Send that back to your system. So these days, I like this concept of a not a one ABM platform. I think it's like, I'm forgetting the exact name, but you can buy like point solution for ABM and piece those together, and that is what I think might be a bit better. Also, you're not going to pay this like 200K fee per year for a platform when you can do a lot first to start on your own. And then all the other like, ads and stuff, if you want to just pull your target accounts, they'll easily let you be able to put the into your criteria. And so that's kind of my opinion. I don't know if you have any others.
100% agree.
Yeah, I think these days actually you might not even need an ABM platform at all.
Yeah, I see it as well, first off, I would probably argue 99% of people that have bought an ABM platform bought it too early.
Way too
They
early.
either bought it before they had a strategy.
Yeah.
They either bought it before their core foundation and data was ready.
Mm-hmm.
They bought it before their team was ready. Like, there's a whole host of reasons why it'd be too early. The first one, you need a strategy around ABM.
Mm-hmm.
The second one, though, I want to harp on this a bit more because you're only as good as your data. Like, and unfortunately, the quote unquote boring stuff like really matters. So I know one client, we wanted to do some ABM work, but they were smart. They were like, they realized that their account data was a complete disaster.
Mm-hmm.
And if your account data is a complete disaster, they have duplicate accounts. You have like some contacts from the same account, well, they should be in the same account in different accounts. You have account hierarchy weirdness. You have all this stuff going on. Add on an ABM tool. Is that going to work? Is this going to work? No, it's going to. Your team's still going to be working in chaos, trying to leverage maybe the data the ABM tool is giving them or whatever. But it's not going to work because you skipped over the quote unquote boring phase of just like fixing your data, getting your shit in order. Then maybe you can consider buying an ABM tool.
Yeah.
But the problem is, if you come up with a strategy, you fix your data, you really think through how to kind of architect the process in your CRM. Once you get through all that process, you might find you probably realize, actually, I don't need an ABM tool.
Yeah.
Or because actually things are working okay. Or if you do, and you buy it, now it's going to supercharge maybe some of the things that you've got.
Yeah.
And you're actually going to be able to get the ROI off that huge line item because it ain't cheap.
Yeah. Or you're going to just figure out what tools help me with the parts of my strategy. Because when we think about it, it's like, it's just, how is it trying to power what you're trying to do from like an ABM play and so forth. So then the tools are there, and then it could be cheaper. And so, yeah, totally agree. So that's it. I mean, when is it, or when do you start investing? Maybe never. But when do you need to start investing in account architecture? Try and do it early before it becomes a SHIT show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A good rule of thumb is before you buy some sexy, fun tool, really be honest with yourself. Have you done the grunt work, the boring work up front before you can layer on that tool?
Yeah.
Right?
Don't put lipstick on a pig,
Yeah, exactly. And if you've got any concerns, pause on the big purchase, go get your house in order, go get a strategy, figure that out, and then you can get a tool.
Yep.
I don't know if we can make it clearer than that.
No.
The problem is everyone, especially in the 2021, 2020 kind of crazy cash era, everyone bought an ABM tool, and I probably have a few sales calls a week where people say, we've got this ABM tool. I'm not going to call out the names. Everyone knows who they are. I don't know who owns it. I don't know what we're doing with it, but we've got it. Like, can you maybe help us figure it out? And it's like, and I'm just like, okay, another one.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
There you go.
Alrighty. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed today's episode. We dove into a lot. And yeah, it was super fun. If you have any questions on the custom object, definitely feel free to put in a comment or reach out to us on our website. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this. Share with a friend, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.
Bye.